I hope you're having a good day. Is there anything I can help you with right now? Maybe a new battle scenario for Jack the Magic Teenager, or something else entirely.
Oh.
The strongest plant user in DC Comics is generally considered to be Swamp Thing. His power level is far beyond that of other famous plant manipulators like Poison Ivy. Here's why. The avatar of the green Swamp Thing is not just a person who controls plants. He is the elemental avatar, or physical manifestation, of the green, which is the collective consciousness and energy field of all plant life across the universe. Near godlike power. This connection grants him immense power, including omnipresence through plants. He can transfer his consciousness and regrow a body from any plant matter on Earth or even across the galaxy, as long as the green is present.
Wow.
Control over all flora. He can manipulate and grow any plant in the world and beyond instantaneously and to an incredible world-threatening scale. Elemental control. His powers have evolved to even allow him to control the other elemental forces. Earth, fire, water, air, to some degree. Power comparison. While Poison Ivy is an incredibly formidable opponent with a deep connection to the green and the ability to control people with pheromones and plant toxins, she is still generally considered a lower-tier threat compared to Swamp Thing. He is immune to her toxins and has vastly superior control over the green, which often allows him to override her plant control completely. Swamp Thing has even been shown to be able to stand against powerhouses like Superman. In short, Swamp Thing is on a cosmic level as the protector of all plant life, making him the strongest plant user in the DC universe.
I might say Killer Frost, to be honest with you. I might say Killer Frost.
That's a cool question. When talking about the strongest ice user in DC Comics, the top contenders generally come down to two characters, depending on what kind of power you prioritize. Raw, inherent ability, versus the unique absolute zero nature of their weapon. The two main contenders are 1. Killer Frost, Dr. Caitlin Snow. Source of power. She is a metahuman with true innate cryokinesis, ice powers. Strength. Killer Frost can absorb heat from anything, people, the air, machinery, and instantly convert it into blasts of intense cold, solid ice constructs, and freezing fields. Her heat-draining ability makes her incredibly dangerous in a fight, as she literally steals the energy and life from her opponents to fuel her own powers. She has demonstrated the ability to flash freeze powerful heroes, and has operated as a major threat to the Justice League. 2. Captain Cold, Leonard Snart. Source of power. He is a normal human who wields a highly advanced weapon called the Cold Gun. Strength. While he doesn't have inherent powers, his Cold Gun is arguably the most effective cold-based device in the DC universe. It can project a beam that reduces temperatures to absolute zero, or near absolute zero depending on the comic. This is a game changer because absolute zero is the temperature at which all atomic motion stops. This unique property allows him to stop the Flash. The cold field he generates can slow down and even completely stop the vibrational movement of the Flash's molecules, making him one of the few rogues who can consistently counter the speedster. Insta-freeze anything. He can instantly freeze matter on a molecular level. Conclusion. For Raw, innate power Killer Frost is the strongest. She is the power, not just a wielder of a weapon. For maximum threat level / absolute cold, Captain Cold's Cold Gun is often considered to have the most potent effect due to its absolute zero capability, allowing him to defeat foes far above his physical weight class. Other notable DC Ice users include Ice, Tora Olafsdottir, a Justice League hero with magical cryokinesis, and Mr. Freeze, Victor Freeze, who also relies on a high-tech cold suit and gun.
Magical ice. There's probably nobody in DC control metal, really. I mean, maybe got telekinesis, but Maxima. I have her on my villain list.
The concept of the strongest metal user in DC Comics can be interpreted in a few different ways, but the most powerful character who consistently and directly manipulates metal is generally considered to be Maxima. Here is a breakdown of the top contenders. 1. Maxima, the Queen of Ferrokinesis. Maxima is an alien imperial ruler from the planet Almerac and a formidable adversary for Superman. Her abilities go far beyond simple telekinesis and include a high-tier form of metal manipulation, ferrokinesis. Maxima has exhibited the power to manipulate metal at a molecular level, a power called ferrokinesis. Power feats: she has been shown to effortlessly tear apart the android hero Red Tornado by focusing her power on his metallic body, essentially disassembling him with a thought. Disassemble an entire prison ship into its individual components. Overall power: her ferrokinesis is just one of her many superhuman abilities, which also include vast telekinesis, massive strength, enough to challenge Superman, mind control, and flight, making her a powerhouse threat. 2. Dr. Polaris, the master of magnetism. Dr. Polaris is the most direct equivalent to a powerful metal manipulator in DC, though his power is actually magnetic. Magnetokinesis. His power is the control of magnetic fields, which he uses to manipulate any ferrous, iron-containing metal. Power feats. He has performed feats on a global scale capable of causing massive devastation by manipulating all the metal in a city. Once soloed the entire Justice League of America, demonstrating the sheer destructive potential of his power over common metals. 3. Firestorm, the Nuclear Man. While not a dedicated metal user, Firestorm's ability to manipulate matter is an order of magnitude more powerful than the others, and he frequently uses it on metals. Matter transmutation. Firestorm can rearrange the atomic and subatomic structure of nearly any inorganic substance into a different substance. Power feats. He can effortlessly transmute durable metals like promethium, a near-indestructible material in the DCU, into harmless materials like foam, sponge, or even air. This is a higher-level ability than simply moving metal. Conclusion. If you mean the character whose primary power is molecular-level control over metal, ferrokinesis, McAfee, the answer is Maxima. If you mean the character who can affect all metals via magnetism, it is Dr. Polaris.
Okay.
If you mean the character who has the power to manipulate and change metal on a fundamental atomic level, it is the vastly more powerful Firestorm.
Right. Oh.
The fastest flyer in the original Teen Titans animated show, 2003, is overwhelmingly Starfire. As a Tamaranian, Starfire's flight speed is naturally far superior to the other Titans who can fly or emulate flight. Starfire, Coriander, flight speed. She is capable of interstellar travel and is shown flying across the vastness of space between planets and star systems. This ability necessarily puts her at speeds far beyond the speed of light, faster than light or FTL, for long-distance journeys. In atmosphere, while her top FTL speeds are reserved for space travel, she is consistently shown to easily fly at supersonic speeds within an atmosphere, far outstripping any conventional aircraft. Other flyers in the show. Raven. Raven uses her soul self and/or powerful telekinesis to lift and propel herself. While she can be fast, her movement is more a form of levitation/telekinetic propulsion and is nowhere near Starfire's speed. Raven's fastest travel method is usually teleportation, which is instantaneous but is not technically flying. Beast Boy. When transformed into a flying animal, like a peregrine falcon or a pterodactyl, he is limited to the top speeds of that animal, which is high for a terrestrial creature, but is subsonic and drastically slower than Starfire. Cyborg.
Right.
He can utilize his flight systems, but his heavy metal body and rocket boosters are generally limited to subsonic or low supersonic speeds, making him much slower than Starfire.
Right.
In conclusion, for raw flight speed, Starfire is the fastest member of the Teen Titans.
She can fly without telekinesis, though. Um,
Why did y'all ever care if it was cool or not? Just enjoy your geek ass shit.
That's an interesting point, and brings up a subtle distinction in her powers. While it often looks like a standard flight in the Teen Titans show, Raven's ability to fly/levitate is generally a magical effect tied to her primary powers, which include advanced telekinetic and empathic abilities derived from her half-demon heritage. In the comics and in-depth character analyses, which often apply to the cartoon's power set, 1. Her flight is often considered a form of self-telekinetic or magical levitation. She essentially uses her powers to lift and propel her body.
Real.
2. In the original comics, she couldn't actually fly and relied on her soul self for instantaneous dimensional travel, teleportation. The ability to fly/levitate was often added to her power set for the animated series to give her an easier form of mobility during battle. So while she is flying, it's not the same kind of biological or energy-based flight that Starfire had.
Wait a minute. This was add to her power set for animated series to give her easier to battle. I did not know that. So it's given to her. I did not know that.
It's an application of her magical and psionic abilities, but for the sake of the show, she definitely moves herself through the air. Yes, that is exactly the common consensus among fans and comic analysts regarding the Teen Titans animated show, 2003. The creators of the cartoon made a deliberate decision to streamline the character's abilities for the medium of a fast-paced action show. Here's why Raven was given a more standard flight/levitation. 1. Visual and action clarity. For an animated show, especially a superhero team, you need your core members to be able to move and fight together quickly. Raven's original comic book methods of transport, relying on the slow, often tedious process of sending out her soul self for teleportation, would have been a poor fit for the show's action sequences. Giving her easy levitation/flight meant she could join the other members in battle more seamlessly. 2. Team cohesion. If Raven had to rely on a slower method of movement or instant but jarring teleportation for every battle, it would separate her from the rest of the team and slow down the pace of the narrative. Having her simply fly/levitate keeps her visually and spatially with Robin, Starfire, Cyborg, and Beast Boy. 3. Visual appeal. The magical, shadowy aesthetic of her floating motion is visually appealing and consistent with her character, even if it's an application of telekinesis rather than true, power-generated flight like Starfire's. So while she is arguably not a flyer in the traditional sense like Starfire, the show gave her the ability to fly as a form of streamlined visual shorthand to keep the action moving.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
The decision to give Raven the ability to fly, or more accurately, self-levitate using her powers, in the Teen Titans animated series, 2003, is largely attributed to the creative team that developed the show, with Glenn Murakami being the creator and producer. While specific statements about the exact moment or person who said, "Let's give Raven flight," are often hard to confirm without a direct interview quote, the choice falls under the umbrella of the show's developers, Glenn Murakami David Slack, and Sam Register, who streamlined the comic book characters' powers to fit the medium of action-oriented.
It makes sense to give her flight all the abilities she have, though.
Serialized animation. As noted in the previous answer, the core reason for the change was to make her mobility more visually engaging and functional in team battles, as her traditional comic method of movement, soul self-based teleportation, was less suited for the cartoon style.
Serialized animation. I never see like animation mean like serious. Serialized. I'm not sure what it means, but I feel like it means like how China 3 is very serious, really serious, like very serious looking, serious cartoon. Let me see. Let me see what he says.
Serialized animation refers to a type of storytelling where the plot of the series is continuous and spans across multiple episodes or entire seasons. In a serialized show, each episode typically 1. Directly connects to the last one. 2. Advances a long-term story arc or overall main plot. 3. Often ends with a cliffhanger or unresolved plot point. 4. Requires you to watch the episodes in order to fully understand what is happening. How it compares to episodic animation. The best way to understand serialization is to compare it to its opposite, episodic animation. Feature: serialized animation. Episodic animation. Story structure: continuous. Follows one long storyline, e.g., stopping a main villain like Trigon. Self-contained. Each episode has a new problem that is solved by the end. Continuity. High. Events in one episode permanently affect later episodes. Low/flexible. A reset button is often hit, so things largely go back to normal.
Wow.
Viewing order. Necessary. You must watch in order to follow the plot and character development. Flexible. You can watch episodes out of order without getting lost. Example: Avatar, The Last Airbender, Teen Titans, 2003, Young Justice, The Simpsons, SpongeBob SquarePants, Looney Tunes.
Oh, so silly cartoons and serious cartoons.
The Teen Titans, 2003, example. The original Teen Titans series is a good example of hybrid or lightly serialized animation. Episodic. Many early episodes were standalone adventures, e.g., fighting a one-off villain. Serialized. However, each season had an overarching villain or plot arc, like Slade in Season 1, or the introduction of the HIV, leading up to Trigon in Season 4, that was constantly building in the background, and would eventually take center stage. This ongoing plot is what makes it a serialized show, and why giving Raven easy flight was important for keeping the team dynamic flowing across those main arcs.
Okay, I'm trying to make this.
That's a great way to summarize the difference. You've correctly identified the main distinction in their storytelling approaches. Category: storytelling style. Examples you gave: serialized cartoons, serious/story-driven. They have continuous plots, character development, and consequences that build over a season or the whole series. Avatar: The Last Airbender, Teen Titans 2003, Young Justice. Episodic cartoons, goofy/self-contained. They focus on standalone jokes, gags, and adventures that usually reset at the end of the episode. SpongeBob SquarePants, Looney Tunes. The key is that the serious shows are serialized, or serial, meaning the story has to be watched in order, while the goofy shows are typically episodic, where you can jump in anywhere.
So the Teen Titans, you have to watch it to first episode. Okay, well now we do the thing like rank cartoons. Which one's more serious and which ones are more considered more serious? Which ones are not more serious? I said SquarePants, but he knew what I meant. He put the rest of it in there. These are the examples I gave. Grade my.
And I feel like he was so popular as well. It's like one of the
Yeah, A plus. A, I mean.
That's a fantastic idea. I'd be happy to grade your previous response. I get it now, Avatar, The Last Airbender, and Teen Titans 2003 and Young Justice are serious cartoons, while SpongeBob and Looney Tunes.
I said that. I'm an Airbender. The Heat.
Cartoons are goofy cartoons. Grade A. Feedback. Your response is excellent and shows a clear understanding of the concept. You successfully took the abstract definitions of serialized and episodic and applied them perfectly to the actual content and tone of the shows. Criteria: score, reason, clarity, and conciseness. A+. You used a very clear and concise sentence to sum up the entire discussion. Accuracy of concept. A+. You correctly paired the serialized shows, those with continuous stories, which are often perceived as more serious, with the episodic shows, those with standalone plots, which are often perceived as more goofy. Engagement. A. Your use of descriptive words like serious and goofy shows you didn't just memorize the terms, but understood the practical effect of the two formats on the viewing experience. The only minor, non-critical note is the small typo in Airbender. It should be Airbender. But since the intent was perfectly clear, it doesn't affect the grade for understanding the concept. Great job. That's awesome. Being a fast typist is a super useful skill for everything, from writing an essay to chatting online. You're very welcome. Is there anything else I can help you with right now, or maybe a new topic you'd like to explore?
Martian Manhunter, but Cyber.
The identity of the tallest member of the Justice League depends heavily on whether you are talking about the core, human-sized roster, or including characters that are super tall by nature. 1. The tallest core member, human-sized. Among the most famous and consistently appearing main members, the title is usually a close tie between two characters, but Cyborg or Martian Manhunter generally take the spot in the 6 feet range. Martian Manhunter, Jean Jones. His standard human-like form is often listed at about 6 feet 7 inches, or 201 text cm. Since he is a shapeshifter, he can change his height, but his preferred form is usually the tallest on the standard roster. Cyborg, Victor Stone. Due to his cybernetic enhancements, Cyborg is frequently listed as being around 6 feet 5 inches, 196 text cm. For comparison, the most famous League members are usually slightly shorter. Superman, Clark Kent, typically listed at 6 feet 3 inches, 191 text cm. Batman, Bruce Wayne, typically listed at 6 feet 2 inches, 188 text cm. 2. The tallest overall member, supersized. If you include all characters who have been Justice League members or closely affiliated, who are naturally much larger than a human, the winner is a powerhouse character. Big Barda. She's consistently listed at an imposing 7 feet 4 inches, 224 text cm, tall, making her definitively the tallest, non-shape-shifting, recurring Justice League hero. That's awesome. I appreciate the A+. Is there anything else I can help you with tonight? Maybe another character fact, or a question about a different show?
But people started requesting his videos, and I did like his TikTok videos.
That's probably hardly an answer, really, even for AI. Why would you be on that roster?
The answer to who the tallest YouTuber is can be tricky, because YouTuber can mean anyone who uploads videos, but if we're talking about a prominent personality who is known for their great height, it's generally considered to be Bo Brown. Bo Brown, Big Bo Brown, 7-foot vlogs. He is a well-known vlogger who frequently posts content about the challenges and funny situations that come with being extremely tall, and his height is listed at 7 feet 1 inch, 216 text cm.
So he throws shade at. So he throws shade at his height. That's cool.
Other very tall YouTubers. If you are looking at other popular content creators, here are some of the tallest. YouTuber. Estimated height. Content area. Christopher London. Text 6 feet 8 inches, or 203 text cm. Closing parentheses. Basketball. Gaming. Part of the 2HYPE group. Dr. Disrespect. Text 6 feet 7.5 inches, or 202 text cm. Closing parentheses. Streaming, gaming, FPS. Rhett McLaughlin. Text 6 feet 6.5 inches, or 200 text cm. Closing parentheses. Comedy. Good Mythical Morning.
Okay.
Mr. Beast. Jimmy Donaldson. Text 6 feet 2.5 inches, or 189
Well, I'm
text
6'1",
cm.
so
Closing
I'm gonna be 6'2"
parentheses.
now.
Challenge videos. Philanthropy.
Okay. Thanks.
You're very welcome. I'm glad I could help. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Thank you. You have a great one. See y'all.